good news is that Southwest Florida obviously can call this one kind of a near miss, but you're riding the storm out tonight, most likely watching television inside. We're going to ride the storm out with you throughout the evening right here on Fox 4. Mostly just rain moving into Southwest Florida because of Isaac, but here's the latest advisory. That's actually the 5 o'clock advisory. The intermediate advisory, as Michelle mentioned, but those winds up to 65 miles per hour. It's moving to the west-northwest, actually now at 15, but with the intermediate advisory, that cone of probability doesn't change at all. Obviously, Southwest Florida has been removed from the cone. That was the case earlier in the weekend. There's going to be a storm that makes its way into the central Gulf, and it may become a Category 1 hurricane as soon as maybe overnight tonight. That's a possibility. Michelle mentioned that storm surge, and this may be a little bit on the high side because we actually produced this graphic in the mid-afternoon. 3 to 6 feet of storm surge possible, mainly south of the Caloosahatchee. Our main concern is tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. because that's when we're going to have our highest tide of the day. And with 1 inch to 2 inches of rain and possibly a bit of an onshore wind developing as we get to the mid and late morning, that's when we may have the possibility of seeing that tide significantly higher than normal. As Isaac gets out into the warm waters, it's expected to start to strengthen. That's already happening right now. Winds are up to 65 miles per hour. And as we all know, and I'm going to talk about Charlie for just 10 seconds. This isn't any sort of a storm that resembles Charlie, but you remember in about a 6 to 8 hour period, Hurricane Charlie increased by about 2 categories. Now, we don't expect this to become any sort of a Category 2 or 3 hurricane, but it may gradually get stronger, and it may actually get a little bit stronger than the Hurricane Center anticipates. That's why we're on the air, just making sure that this thing doesn't intensify rapidly tonight. It is getting a little bit stronger, but as of right now, 2 to 4 inches of rain expected in Southwest Florida. When we add it all up this evening, throughout the day tomorrow, and even through early Tuesday, we think we're going to get some pretty good rain. So here's what to expect. Tonight, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain. Wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour, but that's mainly for coastal Collier County, south of Naples, Everglades City, Chokoloskee, Marco. You could see a wind gust up close to 60. More like a 50 mile per hour gust possible in Lee County, about a 40 mile per hour gust possible in coastal Charlotte County. Monday, we're going to have 1 to 2 inches of additional rain, wind gusts possibly up to 50, but again, that's also from Naples southward. The farther south you get, the closer to the center of Tropical Storm Isaac. That's where the winds are likely to be the strongest. Now, their high tides are going to be at 1 a.m., but that 9:30 a.m. high tide is the one that we're most concerned about because that's when I think we could have some possibility of water rising and maybe not being in some of the spots that it's supposed to be. So our forecast does include that rain overnight tonight. We'll continue to track Isaac for you right here on Fox 4. We'll have more. We'll have another look at where the rain is moving in because we are seeing some pretty heavy rains from the East Coast getting closer to Southwest Florida. We'll be tracking that rain for you coming up in just a minute.